Now let's move on to the more cerebral part of our discussion. You brought up a statement that Immanuel Kant made. Why did it take God an eternity before God decided to create the universe? Therefore, you imply that the universe has always existed, hypothetically, in this, while we're presupposing God. Well, since we're presupposing God, let me just say this. The Bible says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning of what? The universe. So what went on before that, I to be honest, I can't even speculate on or know for sure what eternity is like or what goes on, and I can't even speculate on that. All I know is that in some vague and mysterious way, in the world prior to the universe, an edict was pronounced and the universe began. The universe is a contingent effect, I would argue, and you've heard this argument before. God is an eternal cause. There is a huge difference here. What's the difference? Contingent effects which begin to exist cannot coexist eternally with eternal causes that have always existed. Something that began to exist can't coexist with something that has always existed. That is the fundamental difference here. That's why the universe hasn't always existed, because it began to exist. I cannot speak about that prior world of eternity in which God exists, or how long God thought about it. I can't get into that. I can only speak on this side of things. The universe began to exist. This is why it hasn't always existed. And that's pretty much the best I can elaborate on it. So let's get to your four causes. The four Aristotelian causes. And one question: why is there something rather than nothing? I started researching these causes, and I wanted to see if you can absent a final cause, see if you can answer that question with the other three causes. So let's get into that. Number one, the formal cause. Example of a formal cause is in saying a genome is the formal cause for a human being because it pre-exists before the human being does. It's a pre-existing capacity. So I would say that in an atheistic worldview there can be no formal cause, because a formal cause is basically a pre-existing idea, capacity, or blueprint of what a thing will become or ought to become. So how could there be this pre-existing capacity or an idea of the universe before the universe actually unfolds? How could this be without invoking telos? I would say you can't have a formal cause for the universe without invoking telos. So formal cause does not explain why is there something rather than nothing in regards to an atheistic worldview. Number two, the final cause. You and I both know that that's not going to happen in an atheistic worldview because it implies telos and purpose. There is no telos or purpose of the universe in an atheistic worldview. Number three, a material cause. At best we can say that the material cause for the universe currently, this is what we say, is matter and energy, because that is what everything in the universe consists of. But again, we are asking, why is there something rather than nothing? A material cause of matter and energy is something. We cannot use the something to explain the something. We have to have a why something exists. So this too does not answer the question. Number four, the efficient cause. An efficient cause, as far as I can tell, can be both a mechanism and an agent. What I mean by an agent is if you take a sculpture. The efficient cause for the sculpture is a sculptor who is an agent. So under an atheistic framework, an atheistic worldview, there can be no agent efficient cause for the universe because there's no such thing, there's no agent. So basically this leaves a mechanism. But what kind of mechanism are we talking about? I would argue that mechanism would have to be part of the universe itself. But again, the question we're trying to answer is, why is there something rather than nothing? We cannot use a mechanism that's part of the universe to explain the universe. That's trying to explain the something with the something. It just doesn't work. So the efficient cause doesn't answer this question either. So I think at best the atheistic worldview only allows a material cause. which has always existed, since there can be no ultimate explanation for the material itself. But again, we're trying to answer the question, why is there something rather than nothing? If we are presupposing something, we cannot answer that question. Completely spitting on it. So, atheism cannot answer this question using any of these four causes, I would say. Now I want to get to the meat of what I think your perception is on... This is the meat of what you think about the difference between atheism and theism regarding this question. Why is there something rather than nothing? I saw this on a comment you left on Dr. Swacer's video. I don't remember which video it was or to whom it was. But basically you were saying that the problem is no more solved under a theistic worldview in regards to that question. Basically the atheist and the theist are in the same boat. I want to say a very small yes to that, but a very big no. Probably even more so to that proposition. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Say I tell you that two men go to the BMW dealership to look at a car. It turns out they're both looking at the same car. And for some reason or another, both of these men cannot pay for it. Now, what happens if I told you that one of those men was a millionaire, the other guy was a homeless man? The only thing they have in common is that they can't pay for the car. Now, what happens if I told you that the only reason the millionaire couldn't pay for it is because he left his wallet at home, but the homeless man could never pay for the car? And this is as far as it's going to come as in regards to similarities between atheists and theists regarding why is there something rather than nothing. That's as similar and as different as it's going to get. It's a world of difference, and the only thing they have in common is that they can't answer it. But other than that, the theist, I would argue, is kind of like the millionaire, because in our worldview there is an agent. There is a why, even though I can't give you the exhaustive details of it. But in the atheistic worldview, not only can the four Aristotelian causes not answer it, you have no agent. There is no answer. There's never going to be one, and you'd be kind of like the homeless person, with all due respect. No offense there. And that's pretty much all I got to say. And thank you for watching, dude. And I will wait your response. Whatever you want to do. Thank you so much, James. Bye.